What's up? What's up? Hello Orchid fans, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I've got some work to do today. So a few months back we transitioned this Oncidium Sweet Sugar into leca from bark, and yeah, I noticed yesterday that it's very wobbly in the pot, and I added some more leca beads on the top because I had glass beads before on here just to kind of preserve the humidity, but I took them off yesterday because I could see, the pseudobulbs are shriveling up, especially the older ones. This plant hasn't bloomed for me after it dropped its blooms when I got it, and this is a new growth that I grew, so this growth never pushed out any spikes. It then developed two new growths here, and yeah, it's now pushing those two new growths out. So yeah, yesterday I took off the glass beads, and this plant was so wobbly in the pot, so I added a few leca beads on top, and it is kind of now stabilized, but you can see the leaves, the tips are not looking good. Also yesterday, out of this new growth, I pulled out the leaf from the very top, and I can see that on this growth, which is also the newest growth, you can see that this leaf, which is the newest leaf, has got kind of a burnt tip, and I think that in a few days I'm gonna have to pull it out as well. So that's a bit concerning that it's dropping the leaves on the newest growths and not, the oldest growths are still looking all right. They are quite, a bit discolored leaves now, so they are tired, so they will drop at some point, but it is the new leaves that are kind of suffering. So I thought it's maybe time to actually take it out of the pot and see what's in it. I also noticed here, can you see it's got a new growth? It might be a spike, but I think it's a new growth. So you see, again, it's gonna push out more new growths and no spikes. So, and it's a very beautiful orchid. It's got yellow little flowers, and it's like loads of them, so it's very cute. And yeah, you can see as well here, can you see the roots are looking quite bad and dead? So, and also you see it's quite a lot of roots, so for the plant to be wobbly in the pot, having so many roots, it's just a little bit weird. So I think these roots are all dead, and I don't know, they may be even separated from the plant, I'm not sure. So let's try and just get it out of the pot, clean it all up, let's see what's in there, and then we can decide what we want to do with it. So here we go. Okay, so here it is. Will you let this go? Yeah. Right, okay, so yeah, so all these roots, they're totally dead, absolutely dead. I've linked the video down below where I repotted it into leca. You can see what the roots look like then. So this whole thing is dead. This new growth here is pushing out new roots, but you see these were kind of aerial roots because of how low the leca was. So, but these do look nice and fresh. Not many roots though, it's quite a surprise, to be honest, that these roots are so tiny. And this new growth here, it's only pushed out a few roots. It tried pushing out this root here, but looks like it's blackened up. So yeah, I wanted to get this sheath off, but you see just beneath that sheath there is something in here as well. I don't know if it's a new growth or a flower spike or whatever, but something is there, so I didn't want to just pull this sheath off. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with it, to be honest. I'm gonna cut off all these old roots because they are totally dead. And yeah, that kind of explains it, you know. Actually, for some reason, I thought it had more roots than that. So if all these roots died, then obviously, you know, it's got no roots, the poor thing. So obviously it can't hydrate itself, so of course it's going to be shriveling up. So let me just get this cut off. I think what I'll do with this leca is I will reuse it on the same plant, but I'll just clean everything up. I'll wash this leca as well. You can see it's got some white in here, but this is basically my garden lime, so it's calcium essentially. So I'm not too worried about it, but I just want to kind of clean it all off, wash it all, and I will not fertilize this orchid now for a while, just to kind of, you know, because obviously if there is no roots, there's nothing to fertilize, and those new growths, those new roots, sorry, you know, they are too small to really do anything, but I can actually burn them with a fertilizer, so I will not do that. So these couple roots, although they're black, but they are still firm, so I'm gonna leave them because, you know, they might branch out or do something, so I'll leave them in there. And I'll try and cut this sheath off as well carefully. I don't want to damage any of these new nubbins, whatever they are, but don't really want to leave this sheath on either, you know. So let's see if I can do this carefully. Right, okay, so that kind of exposed this new growth a little bit, or spike. I have a feeling it's a new growth, but might be a spike as well. So I've got some water in here, so I'll just wash it off. Not that there is much to really wash off here, and this poor little plant has got nothing at the base, so there is just a little bit of a sheath in there. So yeah, it's not looking too good. I don't even know if I want to put it back in leca or if I want to put it somewhere else. I'm not sure. Okay, I think what I'll do with it is I'm actually gonna get a smaller pot. I mean, this is a 12 centimeter pot, and I think it's just a little bit too big for this plant, especially when it's got no roots. It doesn't need such a big pot. But I will keep the microfiber because, you know, Oncidium types, they actually do like moisture around the roots. So I think it will appreciate you know, more moisture with the microfiber. So yeah, let me just clean this up. I'll clean this leca. I think I'll maybe pick out smaller beads out of this pot and put them in a 9 centimeter pot. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, let's get this in this smaller pot. And by the way, some news on Charlie. So I was saying a few weeks ago now, I think, that he went blind suddenly, and he's actually a lot better now. We booked him for the MRI scan anyway, so we'll see what comes out of that. But yeah, he seems to kind of back to his normal happy self, playing with the puppy, and you know, he's doing pretty well. He can see at least with one eye, but we think we can maybe even see with the second eye as well. But you know, it's obviously difficult to say. Obviously dogs can't tell you. Yeah, so he's not too bad. So yeah, so this is what I want to do with this. So I have some supports, you know, from my previous pots, and I thought, you know, I'll just use one of them. So I'm just checking, is it the small one or the bigger one I want? I think what I would do, so these are the two new growths. So this is basically the oldest pseudobulb. So I could tie that pseudobulb to the support. You know what, I think it will be okay, this support, even though it is quite short. All I really need is, you know, for it to reach the base, the top of the pseudobulb, so that I can tie it here. So I don't really need any higher supports. And honestly, you know, those high supports are a pain because I always bump into them, and you know, so I'd rather actually have a smaller support. So let's do that. Let's put this higher up then, because the plant will be at the base, at the top of the pot. So we need this microfiber to wick moisture as high up as possible. So I'll hold it like that. And this is the wash leca, same leca as in the previous spot, but I separated the smaller beads and they are here. So let me pour some in here. I can pretty much fill up, you know, the spot with leca, because obviously we've got no roots, so it's not like, you know, the leca needs to go around roots or anything. So I literally need to just place the plant on top of the media. So I want to still cover the microfiber. I don't like the microfiber touching the plant directly, because you know, that microfiber will always be wet. So to have the plant or even the roots directly sitting on top of microfiber, I find it, you know, plants are not very keen on that. So I still like to kind of have leca on top. So I'm just trying to press the leca in, because I always seem to have loads of gaps with leca. So, you know, I don't have the plant in here, so I can just move this around, push it in. You know, I don't need to worry about any roots here or anything, so that's good. Okay, so you can see I basically got almost full pot of leca, and so I'm not gonna need much more of it. So, and I've still got quite a lot of left here, so I think I'm just gonna go even further and just remove the bigger beads. So I wash this leca with like hot water, and you know, because it's the same plant, it's not a big deal. Obviously, you know, it's not like it's gonna catch anything from another plant or anything like that. But this leca here, because this is gonna be used for other plants later on, I will have to sterilize it properly. So I will boil it and wash it and soak it in water for a while, you know, so it will be properly washed before I use it on other plants. But because this is for the same plant, I think this should be okay. So I'm just getting rid of bigger ones. You know, I want to have like the smallest beads on top, because that's where the dry layer will be, and that's where the new roots are gonna come out of. So I want those new roots to have plenty of moisture. So yeah, I'm just trying to pick out bigger beads so that I've got the smallest ones left. It's not like I'm gonna need a lot, so that should be me. Okay, so let's put this now in here. So let's see, so that I've got those two new growths. I just want to make sure as well that these roots here, you know, that they are protected and they are not just like pushing them against the media and breaking them, because it's not like I've got much to play with. Okay, so I'll just fill it up. Okay, so I think that's it. Honestly, this plant seems quite stable in here already, even though I'm not, you know, I've not actually tied it, but I think it's just kind of resting against the support quite well on its own, so I maybe don't even need to tie it. So I'll see how it goes. But yeah, so as you can see, it's now got a lot smaller beads at the base, and obviously the whole pot is also filled with small leca. So hopefully that will give it more humidity, which you know, will let this plant grow better. So we'll see how it goes. I think, you know, having it in a smaller pot will actually help, even though I might need to repot it next year once it starts pushing new growths out of those two. But I think it's gonna be better in a smaller pot, so we'll see how it goes. I'll just use the same water where I was washing the plant. I'll just pour some of that in here, and that will, you know, this is actually now quite good because it doesn't have any roots, so I can actually have water reservoir almost the full, this full tray can be full of water because, you know, there is no roots in the pot whatsoever. So that will ensure that, you know, this pot never dries out. There is always water, so leca will always be wet as well. So we'll see how it goes. We'll keep up with the progress. I'll link the previous video below in the description of, you know, how I initially transitioned it to leca. And yeah, so that's our cleanup. So let's see how it goes. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, for watching this video. I hope your orchids are doing well, and I hope most importantly you are doing well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.